Hello, this video is about sharing your Google Doc. So we're going to explore the different settings that are available within Google. Most of these settings are similar to sharing with Sheets and Slides. They are different if you're working in a form or in Google Slides. So with the document open, I'm going to go to the Share button up in the upper right-hand corner. Now I'm a member of the CCSD organization or domain, so I will get a few different looks here than if I were using my private Gmail account. So the first setting is sharing with people in groups. So it's very easy to add a person's email address. For our class, we have an email address set up at pde3503@gmail.com. So there's a couple of assignments that I ask you to share with this email address. You will never share with my personal CCSD email address unless you and I are working to resolve an issue. So a couple of things to note here. First of all, the default is editor rights. So be very aware of this. If you wanted to share a file with somebody that you just wanted them to read, you would not want them to have editor rights. You would probably want them to have viewer rights, which means they can only read your document and not make any changes to it. If you would like some feedback, but you're a little bit nervous about people actually changing the text of your document, you could give them commenter rights, which they can select text, and then to the right of the document, they can add in their ideas, suggestions, or thoughts. Now, if you leave it as editor, that means they can change anything and everything in the document just as you can. So just be aware of those different levels of access to your document before you email this to your people. So I'm going to change this to commenter just so that you can see the difference when we go back and look at this screen in a few minutes. The notify people is interesting. If that's turned on, then I will get a notification in my inbox, or the person actually that I'm sharing with will get the notification in their inbox. If I uncheck that, then they will not get the notification in their inbox. Instead, it will go to the shared with me area in the drive. Now, it will go there even if I have that checked. All files shared go here. But if I uncheck that notify me, that's the only place I will find it. So again, think about it and be aware of this information and how you might use that. It's always a good idea to give a message. Is there a due date that you need their feedback? Is there something you want them to do with the document? So help them out by giving them some information here. And then I simply click the send button. Now this is nice. It's reminding me that I'm sharing outside the CCSD organization or domain. So if I was sharing this with parents or a colleague that was not part of CCSD, I would just go ahead and say share anyway. But it's just that little reminder to let me know that I'm sharing outside of our organization. So that's sharing using an email address. There's a couple of assignments in our class where I will ask you to share with this PDE 3503 instructor email address, and it will be stated in the assignment. Again, there's no need to share it with my personal CCSD account because I don't grade there. I grade within Canvas. Within Canvas, I will want you for 90% of the assignments to share the link. So down in this section, I can click on Get Link. Again, it's because I'm part of the organization, the default is Clark County School District. If you're not part of our organization, it will say anybody with a link. It will show up differently. So again, I want to make sure that I have the correct access identified for the person that I'm going to submit this link to. So again, there's three: viewer, commenter, editor. So just take a few seconds to double check those rights before you send things. It's very easy to get in a hurry and forget this crucial portion of sharing your link. Now, if I wanted to share with parents or again a colleague outside the district and actually somebody that may not have a Gmail account, I can change it to anyone with the link. And this actually is a huge improvement over the previous format for sharing. So I like this, that it's so easy to see where to change that. Again, always check the rights before you send it. So for anyone with a link, I might want to give them view rights or commenter. I'm just going to say commenter so you can see. The nice thing is if I chose one setting, one level of access, and I changed my mind or I realized I didn't give them the access they needed, I can simply go in and change it. And you saw it said permissions updated. It's doing that right away. So the next time they go in and look at that document, those updated rights, that access has been updated right then and there. So that's really pretty amazing. So I'm going to say done. Okay. And at some point in time, you might want to know who has access to my files. So you go back to those share settings and you can see exactly what you've done. Now, maybe I don't want PDE instructor to have access anymore. We're done with the project. We're done with the class. Boom. I want to remove the access there. This make owner is a really interesting area that you can actually transfer ownership to another person. So again, once maybe you've collaborated and you are no longer a part of the project, you can change the ownership, giving that other person full rights, and then you're out of the picture. So again, explore that when you have an opportunity. But if I want to remove this, I just simply click remove, save the changes, and we're all good. I'm going to go back to the share setting. I have this link turned on. So I'm going to click here. And if I don't want that link active anymore, I can say restricted and click done. Now this says only people added can open this link. That means added up here with an email address. It doesn't override those rights. It just overrides anybody that I sent this link to have access to that. And click done. So in review, there are a couple times in class where you'll be asked to share with my PDE 3503 at Gmail. And you will add this information here. You will be very careful about the rights that are required for this assignment and change them from editor as a default, viewer, or commenter based on the lesson. On most of the assignments, I'm going to ask you to give me the link. You can, by default, it will be Clark County School District, which will work for me because I'm a member of Clark County School District. Again, if you're not a member of CCSD, you won't see that. You'll just see the anyone with a link. All right, so if you have any questions about sharing or the new interface, make sure you send me a message and I'll be glad to help you out with that.